Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, out on another walk. And this time, well, I'm back in Steyning. I've already been to Steyning once before and had a look around the high street. This time, something slightly different. I know where I am, but I wonder why I'm here. So let's go and find good old Martin Snow and ask him what we're up to today. So Martin, you brought me into Steyning because we wanted to pick on one particular place, one particular lane, road, street. Yes. And because every town has streets that have interesting aspects of it. So to demonstrate that, we've come to Steyning. But why here and where are we?
Well, we're in the start of Dog Lane.
Dog Lane,
which is very conveniently signposted here for us.
And it's a lovely name.
Yes, it is.
Let's get down on to the actual road a bit.
Yeah. Before we fall off.
So what's so good about Dog Lane?
Well, it's an interesting name, and it brings to mind the fact that there used to be a dog post from Steyning, which was the main postal area, over to Findon and Worthing. Now, certainly I knew that they had dog carts, which pulled along the post in a cart.
Which is where you get the name of dog cart from, presumably. I mean, you see dog carts being pulled in pictures by horses, but it must have originated from dogs.
From dogs, that's
right.
Exactly. And also possibly before they used dog carts, they would have slung panniers or bags over the back of the dog, and
I mean that's incredible. And what sort of time span are we talking about?
We're talking certainly in the 18th century.
Right. And I mean, how innovative were they before all this modern technology? And we worry about how we get our white van man to get stuff in. And there they had this idea of using dogs to deliver the post, or at least to cart the postman. Were they going on their own?
No, the postman would have driven them or led them or whatever up over the downs. It's quite a steep lane up there.
So dogs would have been so much better than donkeys or horses, and faster.
And faster, presumably.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if they were going on their own with panniers, presumably they've been trained.
Or possibly on their own. I assume that the postman would be helping the postman.
Yeah.
But,
Gosh, yeah.
Can you imagine the RSPCA today?
No, absolutely.
We better not visit there.
Now you've halted here because there's something you want to show me.
Yes. There's hopefully you can see that.
Yep.
There's a mounting block for the the local bigwigs or the landowners or whoever to climb up onto their house, onto their horse.
Onto their horse.
Not their horse.
You're not going to climb onto their house, are they? They're going to get onto their... So it's a mounting block for horses on the side of the road. So the horse would be brought up here, and the big wigs, let me be a big wig. I've got space on the top of my head to be a big wig, and I can get up onto here and then presumably get down onto the horse, which is... I'm not going to do that because actually there is no horses.
And of course, I mean, the younger, sprightlier people would have just put
let
a foot up and let up.
Yes.
But for the more portly among people, no doubt that was a great help.
So, Dog Lane is actually a dog leg.
It's got a dog leg.
It's got a
yeah.
turn. Now, I mean, there's some lovely houses. Let's just have a quick look. These look like relatively modernish houses, or parts of them.
Well, parts of them have been renovated and new. Stop here and look at this one because I don't know how many of your viewers will have heard of Elsie and Doris Waters.
Oh right.
Who were in the first half of the 20th century were music hall singers, entertainers,
right?
And they were also sisters to Jack Warner, who people may remember as Dixon of Dock Green.
And
Evening all.
And he started. I mean, that started from the film The Blue Lamp, didn't it?
That's
a
right.
1950s film.
Yes.
Very, very famous film with Jack Warner, and then the series Dixon of Dock Green
into the 60s.
Yeah. Wow. And so that's where they lived for a while here.
That's where the sisters lived.
Oh, okay.
And my father, in fact, knew them well.
Oh, did he?
Did work for them.
Did he dance and play
No. He on the property.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So let's make our way down the rest of Dog Lane then.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that from this point, there's what I term today as a damp ditch.
Yeah.
But the water, you can see that the water has flown along there.
I mean, it's almost channeled, isn't it? It's
well,
almost
it's very
like
much
a culvert.
channeled. Yeah, it's been channeled to stop it going over the road.
So that sounded like I was, talking to the dead then for a minute. It had been channeled. But yes, you can see that it has been channeled along here.
Yes, I mean, probably at one time it would have just flowed across the road.
And this is from what? From springs from the downs?
Springs further up the downs, yes.
Right. Oh, okay. Feeding into...
and then it becomes a much bigger ditch or stream. Probably stream is a nicer word.
Yes.
That we may see later on.
Oh, brilliant. So this takes us down into the high street, doesn't it? This road.
Yes, that's right. Yes, we can just see part of it now.
So what other features are... I mean, we can see that people are doing some building work here. All these properties, I mean, here, again, a typical Sussex type of property with its tile hung halfway up, brick at the bottom, tiles at the top, lovely little windows and door.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And then with the sort of flint work on the walls, which, of course, would have easily come from the downs behind us. And then a little enclosed garden here.
Yes. I mean, it's lovely along here.
And now here, you wanted me to stop because I think the name almost gives it away up here.
The old brewery barn.
Yes.
Yes, from here down to the high street on that side, behind you, it was a brewery.
Oh right. Oh, okay.
And in fact, at one time, although what we've just seen was a tiny, well, not even a trickle today.
Yes.
There was a water wheel underneath the end here, driving the equipment, so there would have been enough water to drive that.
Right. And I mean, the one thing that people forget, I think, is that breweries were everywhere, and not only breweries but also malt houses and that sort of thing.
That's right. Yes.
I mean, particularly from the 1700s onwards.
Well, possibly before
or even
that.
before.
Yes.
Yeah. And
because the water wasn't necessarily safe to drink, but if you brewed it,
yes,
generally a much lower alcoholic strength than today.
Yes.
People drank it like water
instead of water because
Yes.
the water wasn't terribly fit, as you say, wasn't fit to drink,
No.
and so it's boiled quite a long time to make beer.
Yes.
And so that gets rid of all the impurities. And who's not going to drink beer? Especially, as you say, a much lower alcoholic content.
Yes, I mean, presumably the whole family would have
Yes.
drunk it.
So now, as we walk up here, there's a couple of interesting features that relate to... We're back in the sort of main through High Street
Yes,
of
Steyning.
Steyning. But one of the interesting features here now is related to the water aspect.
Again.
Firstly, if I step this way, you'll see it in a little better detail, is a water trough. What period is that from?
Well, this is from the Victorian time, and it's actually got on the side Metropolitan Drinking Fountain and Cattle Trough Association, which...
So are you suggesting that people drank from it as well as the horses?
Not necessarily, not from here.
Not from the same one.
But there was a
bit of a worry if they were.
Yeah, there was an organisation that set them up in many places to make sure that
this is more likely where you'll see people drinking from. If I come over here, two water pump, and I'm going to... Here, could you hold the camera and point it at me?
Yes, certainly.
I'm going to get up there and just imagine that I am a Victorian and pumping out the water like that. Great big gushing, gosh. So, and there's another one over here which is filling up, well, its own little trough.
Yes.
No handle on that one. Oh yes, here it is. Here we go.
It may well have been that this was provided before the larger one there.
Oh right.
The animals.
Oh brilliant. Thank you very much.
Right.
Whoops, I've got
Fighting over it.
So Martin, yes, these. Let's come over here so we can see these troughs in the background. What again? Victorian? Possibly
and
the same.
possibly earlier.
And possibly earlier, from the
Yes.
same sort of. Oh right. Because
Yeah.
water in a village would have been an absolute essential
Yes, I mean that's
for everyday living, cleaning, washing, and all those sort of things.
Villages were put where there was water,
Yes.
either running water or where they knew that they could pump it up from underground.
Brilliant. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've run out of time as ever, but looking at just taking one street, or technically that was two, but mainly one street, Dog Lane in Steyning. Thank you, Martin, for showing us around.
It's my pleasure.
We'll pick out another interesting street on another video and do the same again.
Fine, okay.
Until then, we've got to go down the pub and have something to drink.
Yeah. Some weak beer.
Yeah. Cheerio.